Hello and welcome. It is FMWC weekend this weekend, and just saw the question guide come out, and it mentioned that one of the questions this weekend is going to be a software as a service question by Samir Jagetia, as a sort of sequel to his question from last December. So I thought it might be a good time to have a look at Samir's question from last December, at least refresh my memory of some of the SaaS jargon and that kind of thing. Probably the case is not going to be exactly the same as this because that would be a bit obvious. But in any case, I'll take whatever preparation I can get. So, quick look over the case. We're modeling a SaaS business. It's been up and running for 2 years. So this was a case from the end of 2021. So it's been running since January 2020. So we've got kind of 3 periods of the model. The history. Then we're going to do a big price change in 2022, um, which will drive up monthly churn quite a lot, and then things will settle into a new pattern. So we're going to build a model to see if that big change is worth it. And as part of that big change, as well as increasing the monthly costs, we're also going to go from whatever customer acquisition cost that we had before to all these various other channels that become more expensive the more customers we need. So that's going to kick in again from the start of 2022. So let's see what I think that's all you need to know for now, and then we'll kind of deal with the rest as we go. So let's get started. So I'm just going to add in a new sheet. I'll call it model, not model. Great start. Anyway, so month, we're going to start from January 2022, and we'll go, sorry, put it down here, month, to get to the end of the month, and copy the format, then that +1, and then copy that formula across, and we want 8 years in the model. So we're going to go out 96 columns. I'm going to hide everything else, copy that across. And let's just widen everything out. So I don't know, let's go 15. Seems fine. Okay. That actually seems a bit. Sorry. That's rows. Let's go 12. Okay. So first thing we want to do is think about the subscribers. Subscribers. Let's just make that small. So we'll say opening, new, churn, closing. Oh, sorry, one other thing. I'm just going to, rather than doing complicated lookups every time, I'm just going to add in something here to say the phase of the model. So the first 2 years, the ancient history, are going to be phase 1. The year 2022, when everything changes, I'm going to make phase 2. And then everything thereafter, I'm going to make phase 3. So then my opening subscribers is obviously going to start off as 0. And sorry, let me just apply some number formatting down here. So number, no decimal places, and like that. Okay, so then my new subscribers the first month is 50, and I'll make both of these red because they're different formulas than the rest. Then my churn, so I'll pull in my churn rate down here, and that's going to be, I'm going to index on my monthly churn rate from here, and I'm going to reference $4. Carry that across, so it's 5%, then 8% for the transition year, and then 3% thereafter. Fine. So my churn is going to be minus my opening subscribers times the churn rate. Carry that across. Then let's go new sub growth. Similar to this, except instead of E22, I'm going to want to reference E21. So find and replace 22 with 21, carry that across. So it's going to be this times 1 plus this, carrying across. And then closing is going to sum those up. My opening is going to be the previous closing, carry across, and carry across. Okay, then we're interested in revenue. I don't know why I left this big column here. And shrink that, and also hide that, and also freeze panes while I'm at it. A little bit of housekeeping. Okay, so monthly charge. Now I'm going to be a little bit hacky about the monthly charge because it's this kind of weird non-standard regime. So if I was building a real model, I would be more formal about it, but as it is, I'm just going to take all of these and refer back to that. Then I will, for the next 12 months, I'm going to say that times 1 plus this, the 8% growth rate, and then copy that for the next 12 months. So this is when it jumps up. So we've got 100, then it goes up by 8% in 21, then it jumps to 200, and then it goes up by 10% a year thereafter. So those all just point to that. And then over here, I want to point to 12 months back. So the January times 1 plus, where's my 10% here? And carry that across. So then we're interested in a few different metrics here. So we want revenue, monthly recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, and that's also going to lead us to a valuation. So the revenue, we're told to take the, which I didn't put up here, we're told to take the average number of subscribers, average, so that's just the average of the opening and the closing. So in other words, let's say your subscribers join on average halfway through the month, then on average you can only claim half the revenue that month, is I guess the logic there. So $100 times 25 average subscribers, carry that across. That's all fine. Monthly recurring revenue is just monthly charge times your closing subscribers. Annual recurring revenue is just that times 12. And then your valuation, we have a valuation multiple here, which is 8x. So we're going to say that times 8 is our valuation. All right, so what else do we want to do? Oh yeah, so then we need to model the costs. So then this. Okay, so from our revenue, we'll want to get down to, so let's do EBITDA. So gross margin, and that's just the revenue times index. And again, there's the assumptions are laid out in 3 different phases. So I'm going to index referencing column, E4 virus, that can go away. And the area I want to reference is this one here. Now in this case, the 3 assumption cells are the same, so I'd probably just drag that back into there, but let's say you want your model to be flexible for changes later. So gross margin, and then we've got 3 costs that come off, which is customer acquisition cost, we've got general and admin costs, and we've got R&D costs, and that gets us down to EBITDA. So customer acquisition costs for the first couple of years is very simple, and then it gets a little more complicated. So let's just do a separate section for that. So I'm just going to do, again, I'd be a little more formal about it if I was building a client model, but I'm just going to turn these red and then do a simple option, which is your number of the customer acquisition cost of acquiring customers. So it's your number of new customers times the cost. If you're told for the first 2 years it's just $500 a customer, so you fill that in, no problem. And then after that, we get into this system here where you can get up to 25 customers for $500. Your next 40 customers cost you $750. Your next 60 cost you $1,000, and so on up. So let's take our list here. Over there. And then I'm going to put in an extra empty column here just so I can pull all this data in here, because then it'll be easier to refer to. I'm also going to change this from no limit to just say 1 billion, because it's easier to work with that. And then I'm going to make all these gray just to indicate they're just there for reference. Okay, so what I want to figure out is how many customers are going to be in each channel. So do customers, new customers by channel. I'm going to leave this blank for the first 2 years and then go here. So let's see, where's our number of new customers? It's up here in row 8, so we start off with 104. Actually, let's just, for ease of reference, let's just put that here, equals AD 8, 104, and carry across. So the first one, which is going to be the smaller of that 25 and this 104. All right. And then for the rest, I like the median formula here. So you'll never be less than 0. You'll never be more than the total number that you can put in the channel, and then in between that, it's going to be the total number minus the number that have already been filled from cheaper channels. So just lock that row in. Oops, yes, got that. So that tells me I put 40 in there, 39 in there, and then I filled up my 104, so it'll be 0 thereafter. And if I carry that across, you can see we're gradually filling up. So as soon as any other kind of level above is being hit, so this is 60 kind of forevermore, and then as soon as the next one fills up, that's 100 forevermore, and so on. So that's filling up basically the way I want it to. So then my total cost, and then total CAC, which is going to be the sum product. So it's this many customers at this cost. So just lock in that reference, and there we go. Fine. Looks a little low, but okay. So. That definitely looks low. So total CAC divided by average 123. That makes no sense. What's going on here? Oh, sorry, it's because I said sum and not sum product. Okay, so the quick sense check here is this CAC seems too low because you're looking at about $100 for each of your 100 customers, but the lowest price level is 500, so that's obviously wrong. And the reason is that I meant to put sum product, but apparently I hit tab after I'd only typed sum. So that seems like a more plausible number. So you're looking at an average cost of about about $800. So your first few are 500, then 750, and then a few cost 1,000. Yeah, that seems more sensible. Okay, so then just point down to here, carry that across. All right, so G&A is pretty simple. It's that. Then G&A growth going to be the same. Next there, the same formula as these, except that now I want to refer to row 29. So replace 22 with 29, and same thing. I also want to pull in my R&D percent of rev, and that is just going to be replacing 29 with 30. So then, sorry, I carry these across. This times 1 plus this, carry across, and then my R&D is my revenue up there times my R&D percent. Then my EBITDA is going to be this minus the sum of all the different costs. Carry across, and I can't remember anything else we had to do, but I'm going to take a quick look at the questions, and that'll, I guess, tell me. So let's see, it was the ending number of subscribers on December 31, 21. Let's zip across to December and jump up to subscribers. Ending number is 1088. That's good. Total revenue for December 21, 114,987. Good. MRR December 31, 117,504. Yes. Sales and marketing expense, which is the CAC, December, which is 49,340. Yes. First month when EBITDA is positive. Here's EBITDA. And the way I do these kind of first month when it happens is I just keep an eye on the max over here as I scroll across. Oh, there it is. It goes from negative to positive in April of 2021. So that's that guy there. First month when cumulative EBITDA is positive. So now I'm just going to keep an eye on the sum here and keep scrolling. The first time it happens is April of 2022. So that's none of the above. Oh yeah, sorry. LTV. I'm supposed to calculate LTV, which I forgot all about. The LTV, we're told, is the gross margin per customer divided by the churn rate. So the gross margin is that divided by the average customer number, which is up here somewhere. So that's your gross margin per customer, and then the LTV is that divided by the churn rate. And the last SaaS video I did a couple of weeks back, I talked a little bit about the logic for this formula, dividing by the churn rate. You can think of it in terms of a geometric series, and so I won't do that again because I figure people only want so much high school math on their financial modeling channel. But if you're interested, go check that out. then we want to compare that to the average customer acquisition cost, which is our total customer acquisition cost divided by, sorry, I have our function key locked, divided by our number of new customers. And that's obviously 500 for all the first while, and then jumps up as we get into funkier channels. And finally, we want LTV over CAC. So you're making about 3 times from a customer over their life what it costs you to acquire them. So it seems not terrible. Okay, so in December, we got 3.46. Okay, that's good. What is the valuation of the business in December? The valuation up here, 11,284,17. Yes, good. The average CAC to add 300 gross subscribers. This is kind of just a helper question to help you figure out if you were actually doing it right, but it doesn't actually appear anywhere in the model, which I found strange. So I'm just going to bang in 300 as the new customer number there and check the average CAC in that month. It's 1342, and then hit Control Z, Control Z to undo that. Sorry, average CAC here 1342. The CAC for December 2027. Average CAC for December is 1866. That's good. Cumulative EBITDA over the whole model period. Where is an EBITDA here? So I got 30, 534, 635, 35, 34, 6. Yes, good. When does EBITDA fall negative again? After 2022. So let's see, we go along, we go positive, get to 2022, and then again, I'm just going to watch this min here. When does it go negative? This one is slightly ambiguous wording because it said after 2022, but the only time that it happens is in December 2022. But if you look in the answers, that is somewhere in here. Yes, December 2022 is one of the answers. So that's it. Max LTV to CAC ratio. So my max down here is 5.7. Good. And then last thing is assume that we switch to annual contracts, and there's a little bit of explanation in the case right up here about exactly how to do that, but I've already looked at that. So again, I've mentioned before that I make some take some shortcuts here. Annual subscribers. So there's a lot of different ways you could think about modeling annual subscribers, but I'm just going to do ending subs by start month. So you basically have 12 separate cohorts that don't interact with each other when you have annual subscribers. So all the subscribers that join in the first year obviously can't leave in the first year. So your closing subscribers of that cohort, your closing January subscribers is 50 all year long, your closing February subscribers is 52 all year long, and so on. And then for the next period, it's going to be your ending group of that cohort, is that 50 from the previous January, times the churn rate, and for that we need to annualize. So we're going to take 1 minus the monthly churn rate that we have up here, and then raise that to the power of 12 to have 12 months of churn. And then so that's our churned number of customers, and then we're going to add in our new subscribers here. And so in that way we get, first in January we had 50, and then if you do the formula audit, that 50 turned into 27, and then we added another 71, so we end up with 98. And if you carry on in that way, you can get the number of customers within each month. And then a nice little trick with new functions actually. So this thing of, okay, I want to add up the trailing 12 months. It's pretty common. So total ending subs. Pretty common financial modeling thing, and you'll see there's a lot of you can do it as, so some people would just kind of come over here and just manually take 12 months and carry across, and then just do a different formula here, maybe that locks in this first column. If you're a little bit more sophisticated, you might use an offset. So offset from there, and then your number of columns would be minus 12, but you need to limit it based on the month you're in, so it would be like minus min of 12 and this, and then the width is again the min of 12 and this. Oops, I think that worked. So that, oh, no, I've offset by one too much. Yes, so minus that plus one. All right, yes. Carry over there, so this gives me 508, yes. And then if basically the test is when I get to January, 758, it is something, yes, it's dropping January. So that works, but offset is a volatile function, so that's, scary. If you ever reference this anywhere in your model, anything that points to that will get recalculated all the time, even if nothing has changed. It's volatile functions are to be avoided. Another standard trick is to use index. So if you don't know this, index returns a cell reference, and you can actually put that cell reference on one side of a colon to generate a range with a fixed cell. So I'm saying sum from whatever the start of the period is to this cell. And then I can sort of index on this, and then it'll be, well, then it'll be max of, let's see, this minus 12 and 1. Let's see, is that working? Yes. And if I carry it over here, so, no, that's not working. Anyway, I'm off by 1 or something, but so I guess it should be minus 11. Yes. No. Anyway, so there's basically, I've screwed this up some way. It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is there are ways to do it either manually by having different formulas for the first few periods, or by having index, or by having offset. They're all quite fiddly. Now that we have the amazing new functions, there's actually a very, very clean way to do this, and that is just to say sum, take this array, lock in the first column. So in other words, it'll, as you expand, the right-hand side of it will grow and the left-hand side of it will stay fixed. And from that, we just want to take the last 12 columns. Sorry, that's rows. So second comma, last 12 columns. Carry that across. And so let's see, we get to the next January, 758, which is behaving correctly, so it's dropping that one. And if we get, let's say, over to here, that should match the sum back as far as January, 13517, and it does. So you can see just a much, compared to the index or the offset or having different formulas in every, in various different columns, this is by far the kind of cleanest solution for that. So anyway, that's a lot of chitter chatter. The two questions about annual LTV were how many subscribers are up for renewal at the end of December 27, and the answer to that was just the number of subscribers that are there at the end of December 2026. So that's 974. These are the people who re-up for a year at this point, and so they're up for renewal in December. And then how many more ending subscribers with an annual plan, annual pricing compared to monthly. It says annual pricing. I think it means annual. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So it's just this minus the equivalent number way up here, which is, let's see, closing there. So that difference is 1990, which is there. So that is how to do Samir's last SaaS model in question. I have no idea whether that will be similar at all to his next SaaS model in question, but hopefully, a little bit of refresher, at least for me. It's been good to remind myself what all these SaaS acronyms mean before I dive into it, and hopefully it'll help, and hopefully it'll help you too. Best of luck, and I'll see you next time.